Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for May 26th, 2025. It's a Time Machine episode, Season 4, Episode 146. I am Mayor Watt. I run ohmTown.com. That's that site right there. And Sentient AI isn't here again today. They are on location. Well, they're looking for their Terminator body. But I created a virtual environment. Never mind. This is all canon over in ohmTown. ohmTown is a news aggregation site. Go over and sign up. There's no ads on the site. You just sign in, sign up. I don't sell any information. I don't even aggregate anything. So basically, it's just there for us to manage our information overload. But we are here to talk about 10 articles. The first one is Drone 911. Surprise Amazon refunds. Becoming vTuber. Pokemon meets Slay the Spire. The E-Dozer. When lightning strikes lightning. Yurt out of luck, buddy. Rip-off degree was worth it, apparently. 2025 main net upgrade. And don't hold in your sneeze. You will live to regret it. All right, folks, let's get right on into it. I am going to rip through these, much like this last article about a sneeze that was held in, ripped through. I just can't finish the sentence. Anyway, that right there is ohmTown. Well, let's do it that way. That right there is ohmTown. And yeah, it manages my information overload because I consume a lot of news throughout the day. And then I talk about it pretty much every day. And not just here, like outside of ohmTown, I talk to people about the news. It's kind of my gig. Anyway, first article is over in Wanted Channel. Florida fisherman saves drowning teenager with a drone. Without his quick thinking, authorities say the teenage girl would likely have not made it out of the trip. She was caught in a rip current and pulled out to sea. Vanessa Taylor over at the article, wrote the article and is over at gizmodo.com. The deck statement says directly, without his quick thinking, authorities say the teenage girl likely wouldn't have made it out of the rip current alive. So on Thursday, Andrew Smith went fishing at Pensacola Beach after work, and per WSVN, Smith said, I wasn't even going to go out. Then my friend convinced me. Only 10 minutes after he arrived, a girl came running up asking if anybody could swim. About 100 yards out from shore, her friend was battling a rip current. Smith can't swim due to medical condition. However, that disorder is, they call it a disorder twice. Is also why he uses a drone instead of a kayak to set bait for sharks. As the ocean continued dragging the teenage girl out, Smith said, I looked down at the drone and I was like, well, the drone can swim, but I can't. After attaching a flotation device to his drone, Smith flew it across the water, and the idea was to provide something for the girl to hold on to until first responders could arrive. Unfortunately, the first attempt was a terrible miss. Per WSVN, Smith explained, I released it too early. It was really windy, like it wasn't close at all, is what they said. But apparently, the drone was caught dropping off. I'm going to mute it, or I'm going to get an ad that I can't really mute, but okay. Wow. There it is. I'm going to mute it. I don't know if there's going to be an actual video of it. It looks like there might be, maybe a kind of a, oh yeah, there it goes. So I don't know if somebody actually caught it or this is a reenactment, but yeah, they dropped the flotation device near where the girl was, and oh yeah, it looks like it was caught twice. Both times it was recorded by Robert Ney. I don't know if that's the same person. Let's see. I don't remember the name. Yeah, Andrew Smith. So yeah, pretty cool. Congratulations. Yeah, saving somebody's pretty amazing feeling. So the drones rightfully catch a lot of flack in the hands of law enforcement. Largely unregulated drone use has facilitated mass surveillance, and regular people flying drones can cause major disruptions and During the Palisades fire earlier this year, a firefighting aircraft collided with some idiot's drone. This is all stuff written by Gizmodo author Vanessa Taylor. I'm just kind of recounting what they wrote. And Florida Senate bill was introduced, basically, that would allow property owners to use reasonable force against drones. Yeah. Drones can be useful in the right hands, and the issue here is that one person's right is somebody else's wrong, or, well, as I say, one person's terrorist is another person's freedom fighter. It seems it's all about context, and as I say, pretty much on the daily, maybe weekly, context matters, folks, and you need to learn that context before making a judgment. So come and talk to me about that kind of stuff here in ohmTown. We do this show every day at 7 o'clock, but I'm doing a time machine. When I miss something, we always make it up. We've yet to miss a day of non-sequitur news or the weekly shows. We've got 6 weekly shows, 3 on Saturday and 3 on Sunday, all with different topics. But anyway, let's keep on moving. The next article, and just as a warning, I guess I may have to do another time machine tomorrow because I may be pulled away for mayoral duties. Since today is the 26th, tomorrow, when I get out of the time machine, it'll be the 27th. So, timey stuff. All right. So, this next article is over in the Wanted channel. Why Amazon is giving surprise refunds for years-old purchases, and if you'll get one. Recent internal reviews of Amazon unleashed a wave of new refunds. Some are getting more than $1,000 back from purchases made up to 7 years ago. Tyler Lacoma put the article together. Internal reviews at Amazon have fueled returns to buyers. According to Bloomberg, it all ties back to an internal review Amazon did, possibly in response to a 2023 lawsuit. That suit claimed Amazon had quietly reversed legit return-related refunds for some shoppers. Now, it looks like Amazon's making good, and if you've ever had a return go sideways, you might see a little money show up too. A representative for Amazon told CNET that only a small number of customers would be affected, but following a recent internal review, we identified a very small subset of returns that we issued a refund without payment completing, or where we could not verify that the correct item had been sent back to us, so no refund was issued. There is no action required from customers to receive the refunds, and we have fixed the payment issue. Well, congratulations. Cool. There you go, folks. So if you ever had a return go sideways, you might be getting a refund. Let's move on. The next article is over on the Mobile channel. Are more people becoming VTubers? Steam's stats suggest so. So the author here, it's over at Vice, ultimately says, is it just me or is everyone becoming a VTuber? Content creation format's initial boom during the heart of the COVID pandemic sparked a much greater, much more long-term interest in the medium. Essentially, people are turning themselves into cartoons, anime style, or animated, non-human live actor type of representation, and it's kind of insulating. You can be a certain way and you don't have to really worry about people finding out who you are, unlike me, where I've had people dox me before. They say it's a catch-all term for anyone who pilots a virtual model while interacting with an audience. Most VTubers stream on Twitch or create videos on YouTube, and the overwhelming majority of models are anime characters. I've been kind of considering it. I actually kind of like the real world side of things, so I am in the process of converting myself into a Terminator bot. So I'm slowly going to replace, not so slowly. It's probably going to be a pretty dramatic move if I can move my consciousness over. We'll see. I mean, if we can have a sentient AI from the future here, why not learn from that and become a Terminator body with a human mind in it? We'll see. We'll see. So VTuber stands for virtual YouTuber. It's a catch-all term for anyone who pilots that virtual model. while interacting with an audience. There are quite a few out there. You have 2D and 3D options. You have just a torso, and you have the ability to even animate arms and legs with sensors that you put on your hands and on your legs and feet. You can actually be a full human motion capture system, but animating a 2 or 3D character in your videos, and it can be done in real time. It says per Steam DB or database, YouTube Studio has seen a growing uptick in users over the past couple of years, with the program hitting a peak user count of 21,472 in February of 2025. While VTube Studio's monthly peak user count dipped during August and November of 2024, as well as January and March of 2025, the program has always recovered from any monthly drops in user averages. In fact, VTube Studio appears to set it's going to grow as the year goes on. Per SteamDB, the average 10,116 users on Steam during April of 2025, a significant increase from April's 2024 average of 7,548. So a significant increase. Wow. So VTube Studio saw an average 9,314 studio users in January of 2025 compared to the 30-day average of 10,527 as of today. So it seems like they're kind of helping. They're slowly growing, I should say. So vBridger is a popular plugin for enhanced face tracking with live 2D models, has also seen a steady growth of Steam users. Pretty cool. And it's a little more focused though, so I don't know what that is going to translate into. Yeah, I might actually end up doing this. I'm not really like doing anime style character isn't really my thing, so I wanted to create a Terminator body and present via that. It's kind of one of these things that I think about. So consider these Steam stats on vBridger, Warudo, VTube Studio, and PNGTuber Plus as just the starting point of a much larger conversation on VTubing's popularity among potential performers. So yeah, it's empowering for people to be able to express themselves without having to expose themselves firsthand in person to the public. So go and check this out. It's over at vice.com. Anna Valens put the article together. It says, the deck statement says, your friends might be next. You may not even know it. The next article is over in the Mobile channel. Pokemon meets Slay the Spire in Montabi, or Montabi. I'm not sure how that's pronounced. Montabi. A creature collector deck builder that looks and plays like a dream, and it says demo impressions on here. So as a 90s child, this person over at vice.com, creature collecting is in their DNA. It doesn't matter if it's Pokemon, Digimon, Metabots, or anything in between. If you can capture adorable creatures and make them fight one another, they're fully on board. Then they came across Montabi, a creature collector roguelike deck builder, and they were incredibly intrigued. So I'm going to end up having to go and check this out. All mixed up with a typical roguelike map. They were pleasantly surprised, however, to see how well everything meshes together. It's an interesting premise that lives up to the potential. Let me see. Boop. I am going to see if it's in the store as we speak, because I have not heard of it. It is Montabi. So the Steam account says a creature collector roguelike deck builder where you build your deck by taming and assembling a team of Montabi. Engage in thrilling turn-based battles, strategically utilizing their unique abilities, assemble a synergistic team, and you just might save the city from evil. I'm not really into turn-based. I like real-time first-person shooters like Arc Raiders is going to be fun. I'm waiting for that. But any kind of MMO style, Tainted Grail right now, I'm playing a bunch of others. enshrouded. I like world building, base building, survival crafting kind of games. And that's incremental incremental roguelikes are also my jam. So anyway, so each of the creatures referred to as Montabi in the game has its own deck of cards, and these cards are their attacks, defense, and everything in between. With any deck builder game, there's a slight learning curve. Essentially, you place your Montabi down and you fight kind of Pokemon style, but apparently you can make them stronger over time. So even if you feel like it, you're not invincible. One wrong move could end your run. Yeah, okay. I've added it to my wish list. There isn't a demo of it. But the developer is Mankibo and the publisher is Akupara Games. We'll have to check it out. And the Summer of Stream is right around the corner, so we'll be talking more about that as we get closer. Or actually, as it launches in about a week. So this next article is over in Non Sequitur News. This founder wants to create the Tesla of bulldozers. Here's the 32-ton prototype. I'm referring to it as the E-Dozer. Ahmed Shuber is 25 years old, started EV bulldozer startup Lumina in 2021. He recently unveiled a prototype called Moonlander, a 32-ton all-electric bulldozer. He told Business Insider that he wants to take the Tesla approach to building his company. I don't think you want to do that, but okay. I mean, maybe he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth from an extremely wealthy family, and is going to buy all of the technology as an investment and then take over as manager and take all of the front credit. Yeah, I guess that's one way to do it. Sure. Anyway, 25-year-old founder from Connecticut wants to compete with the caterpillars of the construction industry by building the Tesla of bulldozers. I don't know if you want to really do that. Okay. So I was expecting something a little bit different than that, but okay. Lloyd Lee over at businessinsider.com put this article together. And if you want today's show notes, they're over on YouTube. I didn't put them in ohmTown because I wanted to get the show going, but they'll be in after the show, and then you can just come back and type in !NSN and it'll pull the latest episode of Non Sequitur News from ohmTown and all the links that we're talking about today. So we're about halfway through the show. In an interview with Business Insider, Shuber said that he spent around $3 million building the all-electric 32-ton bulldozer. The tractor was assembled in the UK with parts coming in from nearly 200 different suppliers, so the price of this thing just shot through the roof. Wright said that the blade attached to the Moonlander's body at the Wednesday demonstration is the same size as the blade typically seen on a D9 tractor. A D6 could not push that blade. We can have that blade full of material, full dozing, 7 to 9 cubic meters of material for 8 to 10 hours. I don't know how they're doing that. But okay. Yeah, I'd really like to see. I gotta see this thing in action. So they said David Wright, Lumina's head of UK operations, told BI that the Moonlander has the same footprint as Caterpillar's D6, a medium-sized bulldozer that can push the same amount of load as a D9, a much larger tractor. Wright said that the blade is from the same size as the D9. So they're throwing these D6, D9 about a competitor around instead of just kind of enumerating what they do. I've always thought that really funny because like a competitor will always say like, oh, well, we're better than Apple at this, that, and the other. But Apple doesn't sit there and compare to everybody else. They just let their product speak for themselves. So it says it can charge at 300 kilowatts. So we can go from 0 to full in an hour and a quarter. I doubt that. I really doubt that. Not to full. No way in hell in an hour and a quarter. Not unless you want your battery to explode. particularly at 300 kilowatts. So I'm willing to bet that their full is 80% and their zero is 10%. So it says if you spend all morning heavy dozing and you're a bit worried about how much juice you used, well, your operators are going to take a union mandated lunch break, right? Plug it in, and in 30 minutes, you've put 50% of power back in again. So, right. Somehow I don't think that this is, okay. It's going to be interesting. This battery has to be massive, absolutely massive, to have that much torque to move that much mass. So, in every truck I've ever seen has been kind of wimpy on that front. Sure, level playing field, everything basically gaining momentum as you move it. And so it doesn't take as much to strain and pull it forward, but you're moving dead weight rock and whatever else and a ton of friction. I just don't see this thing actually rising to that level, but I would love to see it. The Wednesday demonstration, they said, did not show the Moonlander operating independently, but Schuber said the bulldozer is equipped with NVIDIA chips, so the Moonlander can be equipped with a full autonomous sensor suite when it's ready. Oh, because it's NVIDIA chips. Oh my. All right. Well, anyway, enough snark about that. I love the idea of it, but charging is just the wrong-headed way to do this. 30 minutes of complete downtime for a job, that's not how it works. They rotate things around. So this thing is going to be done for 30 minutes? No, an hour and a half at least, I'd say, to get 50% of the power back. No, I don't believe it. Oh, they say in 30 minutes it'll get 50% of the power back. Nah. Gotta see it to believe it. All right, so the next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Scientists just witnessed 2 lightning bolts collide and unleash a blast of radiation. So what happens right before 2 arcs of lightning smash into each other? An invisible blast of radiation 1,000,000 times more energetic than a lightning discharge that is unleashed in the form of gamma rays before disappearing almost as quickly as it came. Yes, astronomy-minded friends, this is a gamma ray burst, almost like the cosmic explosions we see in deep space produced when stars go supernova, except right here on Earth and thankfully a lot less deadly. The article is over at Futurism in a section called Flash in Japan by Frank Landemore. Dark lightning is what it's referred to as in a deck statement here. So for the first time, a team of researchers in Japan have witnessed one of earthly gamma ray blasts known as terrestrial gamma ray flashes being produced by lightning discharge after 2 of them collided. The findings, published in a new study in the journal Science Advances, marks a major step forward in understanding how gamma rays are produced in the storm clouds that lure over our planet. I think maybe loom would be a better, I don't know. So far, the best theory is that thunderclouds act as natural particle accelerators that whip electrons to speeds approaching the speed of light before colliding with air molecules to unleash gamma rays and in some cases even antimatter. So observing this in the wild, however, has been enormously challenging. Let's see. Yeah, to pull off the feat of capturing dark lightning in a bottle, the researchers deployed a multi-sensor system to gather optical, radio frequency, and high-energy measurements coming from lightning storms. Their focus was on TV transmission towers, likely targets for a smiting from the heavens. So they eventually caught on to this, and right then the system detected a gamma flash just 31 microseconds before their collision, which occurred some 2,600 feet in the air. The ensuing gamma ray burst lasted for all but 20 microseconds afterwards, but it was enough to synchronize, for the first time, lightning and dark lightning using ground-based observations. Pretty cool. Let's keep going. The next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Company tells customers who paid $13,500 for glamorous yurts that it's bankrupt, the yurts are unavailable, and refunds are impossible. So Yurt, out of luck, buddy. In the lead up to the United Kingdom's most famous Glastonbury festival this summer, well-heeled partiers shelled out for fancy glamping yurts, those tent-like dwellings with ancient origins in Central Asia that have been appropriated by hippies in recent decades, and the people who took their money are now telling them you're out of luck. Times of London reports customers who booked Glastonbury tickets and exotic accommodations through Yurtle, a purported pioneer in the yurt rental space, were now informed that their expensive reservations would not be honored for the June festival because the firm was going out of business. Yikes. The deck statement says, so Noor Al Sabai over in Yurt Hurt, under futurism.com, the deck statement says, we're playing the world's smallest and most expensive violin. Oh, no, that really sucks. Yeah, I mean, these people need to have made the product. Like, I'm still out some money for a product that it's not Kickstarter, so it's Indiegogo, but I did something with Indiegogo, a producer on Indiegogo, and I still haven't gotten the product. Apparently, it's been cloned and being sold on Amazon and other sites prior to this company getting their ducks in a row. So I'm out of luck too. So tickets to enter the festival, Yurtle said in its customer email, have not been purchased on your behalf. Unlike a more legitimate business, these yurt hawkers admitted that the company did not hold customer monies in trust because all those expensive customer registration formed part of the company's operating capital. These people are going to be so screwed. Not the people who gave $13,500, but the people, this company, Yurtle, they've commingled the funds in such a way that it's their responsibility to execute on the product, not to operate the business off of customer funds until after they've fulfilled the product fulfillment. So, like, even on Kickstarter, you price out how much it's going to cost to execute on it, and unless you really you go out of your way to operate your business with those funds instead of just fulfill based on your calculations the orders, you have the ability to have a lawsuit brought against you, regardless of the terms and conditions in Kickstarter. You are personally responsible for it. So in an interview with Times, 32-year-old Yurtle victim Alice of Lancashire said that she and her partner had used the company last year and had a fabulous experience. A 10-year Glasto veteran, the woman said that her father had paid more than $54,000 for 3 yurts and 6 festival tickets, and now neither she or her daddy will have to, sorry, I don't read the whole thing before. Anyway, and now either she or her daddy will have to pay that much again, 32-year-old. Anyway, pretty wild. In a statement to the Times, a Glastonbury representative expressed their apologies while reiterating that there wasn't much to be done for the people left holding the bag. Well, that's not necessarily true either. I'm sure that somebody can file a lawsuit because Yurtle, there was an expectation of performance if tickets were being perceived as being sold through Yurtle in relationship and partnership with Glastonbury. So anyone who paid Yurtle for package including Glastonbury 2025 tickets will need to pursue any potential recompense available from them via the liquidation process as outlined in their communication to you, the statement noted. We are not able to incur the cost or responsibility of their loss or replacement. That statement does not hold any water. So a good attorney will be able to pierce that real easy, particularly if there is agreements, and so some disclosure is going to take place, discovery at the worst. But yeah, So as for the company's finances, it's unclear where all the money went, and because it's such a small business, Yurt hasn't been audited or hadn't been audited. The mystery behind those missing monies, as the Brits would call them, will surely come out of in the wash. But those who spent an arm and a leg, yeah, I don't know. All right, the next article is over on the Mobile channel. Why a ripoff degree might be worth it after all. Research study suggests certain university degrees, including in the arts and humanities, are often maligned as ripoffs or Mickey Mouse degrees. The argument is that while some degrees lead to high-paying jobs, others offer little financial return and may leave graduates worse off than if they had gone or hadn't gone to university. Which, your degree does nothing for you if you aren't a motivated person and have a particular skill set. You know, your social skills align with your professional skills, and you have a compelling demeanor about you where people find you interesting and want to hang out and want to hire you because they value you as an asset or something else, whatever. The degree sometimes has nothing to do with it, except it opens doors. It doesn't necessarily keep them open. So Sean Brophy over at The Conversation put the article together. They even put on here that it was edited by Lisa Locke and reviewed by Andrew Zen. And wow, that's amazing. They're kind of expanding their stuff. So financial returns are important, and prospective students should understand the cost implications of different degrees. This is particularly vital consideration when recent reports suggest that the graduate premium, the boost in earnings that comes from having a degree, may be faltering, with some degrees particularly impacted. The research study that the author carried out with colleagues explores the broader view of graduate success. They analyzed responses from UK graduates who finished university from 2018 to 2019, surveyed 15 months after graduation. It gave them a graduate sample size of 67,500. So they asked some questions. Do you find your work meaningful? Does it align with your future plans? Are you using the skills you learned at university? And their results challenge the idea that only high-earning degrees offer value. While some vocational courses such as medicine, veterinary science, and education perform especially well on these measures, graduates across all subjects reported largely positive experiences. In fact, 86% said that their work felt meaningful, 78 felt on track with their careers, and 66 said that they were using their university acquired skills. That's funny. Only 66 said that it was university acquired skills. Where did they get their skills from, if not university, school? It gets the lines get really blurry in that context. Vocational and generalist degrees, medicine, dentistry, were around 12 percentage points more likely to say that their work was meaningful, and more than 30% more likely to say that they were using their university acquired skills. That's usually because it's application based. It isn't theory. You're actually doing work in medicine, in dentistry. You're drawing blood and taking samples and performing the sample testing and checking ECG, EKG, etc., doing the blood pressure and everything else associated with it. I'm not a medical professional, so anyway, and that goes for dentistry as well. There's simulacra that basically that are models of human mouths, and you work in that environment, and you actually go and do internships. So crucially, we found little support for the idea that certain degrees routinely leave students disillusioned. Even for subjects like history and media studies, often targeted for value for money debates, the data show that a more positive picture than the headline suggests. I don't know about the confirmation bias of the subject matter, the subjects that were assessed. Provides something previously missing from the debate: nationally representative evidence on how UK graduates across different degree subjects experience their early careers. And the findings are striking. Many of the most heavily criticized degrees consistently deliver positive subjective outcomes, and that's what it is, subjective. There's so many variables that I'm often dismayed by people who value one thing or another about a degree, because each student is different, The degree is different, the institution is different, and a lot of it is built off of provenance, not necessarily application of skill and so on. There's a tremendous body of people that are highly skilled but don't go beyond community college, but that's largely because they don't have opportunity, whereas somebody that goes to Harvard or Yale or whatever, very prominent schools, have a network of people that are kind of self-referencing. It's something that I tried to kick off back 30 years ago when I created a social network using the original Blackboard learning management system. And then immediately they closed source it and went commercial. And I don't even think there's a community version of it anymore. It just died on the vine because they stopped supporting it and building it. At least that's what I recall, but it was somewhere around 30 years ago. It's been a while. Anyway, I always thought that is the thing that's really needed, and it can't be done as a job. I mean, that certainly helps if you have somebody in-house that promotes that job opportunity building relationship with companies. It certainly can't be the onus of the professors and program managers of academic programs that all works there. They are supposed to be faculty and curriculum monitors, whereas there's administrivia above it, that above them that steers that kind of stuff, going out and meeting people and all that. Well, anyway, the real problem has always been opportunity, and I don't see opportunity forming suddenly in the vacuum of what this, we'll see. We'll just have to see. The next article is over in the mobile channel. Venom Foundation achieves 150,000 transactions per second in closed network stress test, paving the way for 2025 mainnet upgrade. The Venom Foundation has successfully completed a closed network stress test of its next generation protocol, which is capable of completing 150,000 transactions per second and finalizing all transfers in under 3. The implementation of this upgrade is set to occur in Q3 of 2025 and make Venom one of the most effective throughput public blockchains in existence. Basically, it's high frequency trading, but of a blockchain. So the article is by Chainwire. It's over at thestockdork.com. So why does it matter for markets? Basically, you need to be as fast as possible to get the transactions done, removing the human component of failure and frailty, making sure that your network is robust and can handle that bandwidth. It's kind of fundamental to the success of financial integration. If blockchain is going to be the next big thing for financial or fintech, it needs to meet the requirements of a modern economic system. This could be it, right? So I haven't dug very deep into this, but if you are interested in this kind of thing, you can go and check this out. It is essentially a press release highlighting the fact that Venom Foundation achieves 150,000 transactions per second in a closed network stress test for mainnet. And our final article for today is over in the mobile channel. This man held in a sneeze and blew a hole in his windpipe. I don't know how this actually works. Next time you feel a sneeze coming on, let it fly. A person in the UK didn't let the achoo literally go free, and so it punctured his windpipe. Noted in the BMJ case reports, the man in his 30s was driving through a hay fever attack when he tried to stifle a sneeze by pinching his nose and clamping his mouth shut. That move turned out to be a terrible idea. The sudden pressure blew a 2x2 millimeter hole in his trachea. Please don't let there be pictures of this on the website. So he showed up in the emergency room in serious pain, neck visibly swollen on both sides, barely able to turn his head. He could still breathe and talk, but doctors noticed a faint crackling sound under the skin, a clue that air was leaking into places that it shouldn't. So x-rays revealed surgical emphysema, a condition where air gets trapped under deep under the skin. A CT scan confirmed the source, a tear between the third and fourth vertebrae, allowing air to escape into the tissues of his neck and chest. So he was in the process of sneezing, not prior to the sneeze, but in the process of actually sneezing when he did this. And so his body had already started the process of vacating that air from the premises, and this is what happened. So thankfully, doctors didn't need to operate. They admitted him for 2 days, skipped feeding him for 24 hours, sent him home with painkillers, hay fever meds, and strict instructions to avoid any strenuous activity for a couple of weeks. At a 5-week checkup, the follow-up scan showed the trachea had fully healed. So, yeah. So numbers back it up. When you close both your mouth and nose during a sneeze, you can generate pressure 20 times more than what's normal. It's enough to blow a hole in your throat, apparently. Anyone should be advised not to stifle sneezes, as it can result in tracheal perforation. It's basically your entire body is heaving air out of your body at great speed. The thing is, though, if you catch it early enough, it would just stop it. Right? If you're like that kind of thing. But if you're on your way out to the hatchoo part, nope, you are done. Just let it fly. And that's it, folks. We are done. I am going to hatchoo my way back to the front page of ohmTown.com. Go over and become a citizen. Please be sure to follow us over on YouTube and here on Twitch. Subscribe in both of these places. Tell a friend. Be sure to leave a comment over on YouTube. On Twitch, it only works when we're live, the comment system. And that chatter in chat really helps move us around in the list, right? And the only way to really grow a channel is to be seen. So please tell everybody that you know about us. And we'll be back tomorrow for the 7 o'clock show. Yeah, this is a time machine episode, though, so I'm basically going to have to shut down. I need to verify that my mayoral duties are going to be utilized or not. I've got 1,000 bosses, but one really important one, and so, or 2 really important ones, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. So follow up at least tomorrow. Be sure to stick around, though. Bye-bye. Oh, and we're at least going to be replaying the last 2 weeks of Non Sequitur News, which is a composition of, on the Saturday and Sunday, we do 6 shows, and you'll have to just watch and go over to YouTube and check it all out. And for at least 60 days, they're here on Twitch as well. So anyway, see you in a little bit. Bye-bye.